Hello, my name is Daisy, and I am the creator of Ripple. I found this computer-generated graphic online and used it as a guide. I first replicated it with cardboard to get a sense of it as a three-dimensional form. You can see that I used the same arrangement for my sculpture. The sculptural endeavor began in spring of 2023 and it started as a wooden prototype. This way wood is more forgiving and I could gather measurements. Most importantly, it allowed me to know that I could transmit motion to all the wheels by spinning one. After successfully getting the wheels to spin, I shifted to working with steel. I'm working with hollow, square, half-inch steel rod. I cut a lot of this with a chop saw, also using an angle grinder. I want to emphasize that this was not a linear process. I cut up the welded octagons and re-welded them with the steel rod that attached the inner and outer octagon so that it was structurally more confident. There was regression and there was scrapping things that I had fabricated and spent hours and hours working on. Ripple was created so that all pieces can conveniently come apart. The steel structure comes apart into 7 pieces. So much of this process was repetitive. I was doing the same motions over and over again. I thought of it as a dance. Movements became habitual. I became really familiar with welding, using clamps, and also the angle grinder. Here you can see the steel structure without wheels. This was an exciting moment as I had not seen it as its full form yet. All while this was in progress, I had been working on the macrame wheels. For this process, I am creating a functionally spinning wheel by removing the bike spokes and replacing them with my own macrame spokes. The macrame cord is made out of recycled plastic, polypropylene, and it's braided. One wheel takes about 8 hours in its entirety. That includes removing the metal spokes, attaching the keychain to the axle, tying the loops where the macrame connects and gets tied to the rim, macrameing, and melting the ends of the cord with the flame so that they're secure. These materials were hard on my body. The macrame would rub my skin raw. After doing this for a couple hours, the many facets of this sculpture that were challenging made it all the more rewarding. I felt so joyous in moments of completion and success. The wheels are attached to the steel frame with brackets. Each wheel has a set of 2 brackets. They are fabricated with small pieces, including these makeshift clamps. I made over 80 of these. These were pretty tedious. I welded the nuts onto the steel. Here I'm cutting steel rod, featuring silliness in the studio in my sculpture attire. I used these red magnets while welding the brackets together. There are 36 of these pieces in total. During the creation of Ripple, I learned to ride a bike. Whenever I had started working with the bike wheels, I did not know how to ride a bicycle. The brackets allow for adjustments with the bike wheel. They allow for it to move left and right, up and down, inward and outward. This image shows the supports I used to weld the pillow block bearing. This piece is what allows the crank to spin along with the bike wheel gears. The crank is a part of a bicycle. It is the pedal with the foot pad piece removed. My sculpture represents how small forces expand out into the greater whole. Leverage is a tool that allows us to have an advantage. We can utilize leverage like well-focused action through intention and care. However, there is always an element of uncertainty with how our actions will affect the world around us. I am so grateful for all of the humans that supported me throughout this process of creating Ripple. Thank you for helping me make the impossible possible.